Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome to Fixin to Garden here in Georgia 8B. Y'all, today is already not going as planned. I was hoping to get these Gomphrena and put them in the ground. It is getting hot and humid already, and I'm really struggling keeping everything watered, and so there's a little bit of urgency of getting the things into the ground so that the ground can hold the moisture a little bit better than these plastic cans can. So let me show you all what we have going on. Well, if you can see here, these are my Gomphrena seedlings. They were a Las Vegas mix, and I think I had some Audrey mix left over from last year that I kind of combined because they're very similar. And they're here in the seed tray, and y'all, they're just a little puny to be putting out into the garden quite yet. So I'm having to pivot and move on and put my intended Gomphrena that was going to go in the front yard is now going to go in the back. And we're going to let these guys grow on a little bit more, and hopefully they'll be ready to go out soon. See, the birds are already out this morning getting their morning bath in of the bird bath. But here we just have some shade for a little bit this morning, so I'm going to try to hurry up and get these in the ground so that I can stay cool and they can hopefully get established before the soil starts drying out too much. But I wanted to show y'all, this is the Truffula Pink Gomphrena from Proven Winners. And they get 22 to 28 inches tall. There are zones 9 to 11, so I guess there's a chance that they could winter over here. So I grew Gomphrena last year from seed. They went over here next to the Abelia. I think it was the Audrey mix from Johnny Seeds, and they didn't winter over. And so I'm interested to see. Oh, y'all look. He didn't realize I was standing right here. Anyways, I just loved the way they turned out. They were very easy. I didn't really have to do anything to them. You can grow them for a cut flower or a dried flower, but I really just enjoy seeing the color into the landscape. And this is one of the reasons why I like growing annuals or having annuals, because they were really filling out the space over there that is now closed up. So we're gonna move them to the front of this border, front and center, because I liked them so much. And as you can see, I've just kind of dotted them along in between these hydrangeas. I have a Legends of the Small Fothergilla and some azaleas. So the left side is all spring blooming, the delphinium all spring blooming, and this is going to add some summer color. Now these are Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas, and they will give us also some summer blooms, but these are white. So this Truffula Pink will be a nice pop of color against what will be just a green or white. So I have them, like I said, dotted in between each of the plants we have here. So hopefully it's going to look really great when they grow in. So we're just going to scoot our mulch to the side to get to the dirt. Again, these little quart pots have an advantage. They're super easy to dig out. I just use a trowel, which is easier for me to manage than something really big like a shovel. Of course, there's lots of roots through here. So we have this maple tree going on. We're just going to move those to the side. Y'all, we're in that extreme drought still, so the ground, though it has been sprinkled using the irrigation with sprinkling here, and we have drip right here. Well, if this dirt was a little bit better, I think that this digging with the trowel would be a little bit easier, but since it's so dry, I kind of wish I had grabbed a shovel now. A little bit of biotone. Well, I hear a bumblebee, but I don't see it. They're so loud. A little bit bigger of a mess than I had intended. But if y'all know me, that's what I do. All right. So this area of our yard we started filling in the fall of this past year. So this is its first growing season, and things aren't quite going very fast because, well, perennials take time. You know, your first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and the third year they leap. And so giving those perennials the time that they need means that there's big holes in the garden, and so I want it to look as full as possible. So we're going to dot along the Senorita Blanca Cleome. And I had never grown this before, but the reason why I picked it is because it's supposed to get up to 4 feet tall. And y'all, that will make this bed look like it's got more mature plants in it than it really will have, because like I said, these annuals are fixing to do the job for us. So we're just going to dot it in along the way here. And this poor little camellia, this is that goggy camellia that I planted in the fall. I think it's getting too much sun. So I'm going to try something and plant one of the Cleomes kind of over here, because we get the afternoon sun from this direction, and it'll help give it some extra shade if it needs some more. And anyway, so we're going to get to that. It's going to be a quick and easy process. We're going to put a little biotone in there to help get them started. And I want y'all to be able to look back at this scene at the end of the summer and see what a difference an annual can make. You can see we have the cans placed right through here. We got 1, 2, and then the third one's way back in the back. So I'm shooting this from the side. We're gonna dig the holes and put in a little biotone and stick them in the hole. All right, we got them all in the ground and watered in really well. Y'all, the ground's so dry that I try to give them a really good soak in, because I know it won't take much in this heat for the water to evaporate. And we'll have to make sure we come back and check on them every day until they're well established. Yeah, I want to give y'all a few fun facts about Cleome. Its common name is spider flower, and that's what I knew it to be. I didn't even realize they were the same plant until somebody mentioned that one day. The Cleome, though, I had stayed away from, or the spider flower, because it reseeds super bad. I mean, like really bad. But Senorita Blanca, and there's also a pink one called Senorita Rosalita that's pink. And from Proven Winners, they bred a sterile variety of Cleome. So I thought I'd give it a try here. I'll let y'all know if it reseeds at all next year and how it does. And we may end up getting these again next year, because we always have these little pockets in the flower bed that are empty, and you know, can't help but want to fill those up. So, well, they're all tucked in. Y'all, I don't know if I'm ready for all this heat and humidity this year, and I'm really concerned. I know that I've been great at getting this area watered in, mainly for the hydrangeas. They like extra water, with the maple tree knowing that it's sucking up some of that moisture. And it was amazing how hard the dirt is. If we don't get some rain, it's going to be a really long gardening season for us. So I'm hoping that we'll get some rain soon, and that all of our plants in my garden and yours will flourish. Gardening is really full of a lot of lessons. And the lesson that I learned today is that is patience, and to be willing to pivot. I admit that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist at times. I like to plan out my garden. I know exactly where things are going when I get them, typically, especially something like an annual order. And this season has really taught me, and today especially, that it's okay for things not to be perfect or go as planned. And you know, that's some of the reason why I like to garden. It has truly changed me in a way that I could have never expected, and that it's allowed more peace in my life. It's allowed me to let go of some things that I can't control, like the weather or how fast my seedlings grow, right? So I'd love to know in the comments, what have y'all learned from gardening? So do you typically plant what you plant for, or are you willing to pivot sometimes as well? So I'd love to hear in the comments, and we'll see y'all real soon.